Hello everybody, this is Namanjan coming out with a new tutorial. So today we're going to learn about level designing, and at the end of these tutorials you'll be able to make a level just like the one in front of you. This level is a level that I made by myself for my other game called Eternal Eclipse. You can check out the game in the description given below. So let's get started with making some new levels. Before we actually start level designing, I want you guys to download two asset packs for free from the Unity Asset Store. I'll give you the links in the description below. One of them is called Make Your Fantasy Game Light. It's basically a free version of their full pack. I will give you the link below, and the second one is going to be a ground textures pack. So these two are completely free and they're great assets to start with. And make sure you download them before we start. Okay, so before we go into Unity and start level designing, I'm going to talk about the steps for level designing. So in front of you, you can see a level that I've actually designed that I'm going to implement in Unity. So it is always important to start with the design before you actually start making the visual stuff. So here, what I'm planning to do is have a graveyard. This is a very simple map. It's just to teach you guys. So it's a graveyard with dungeons inside a graveyard. So here, as you can see, we have a graveyard entry and graveyard exit over here, and then we have three dungeon entries over here. As you can see, as I'm highlighting them over here, and as you can see, these lines over here are roads to the dungeons, and these two blocks over here are two statues that we're going to put in the middle of the graveyard, and these two boxes with boxes inside them are basically coffins. So it's basically a very graveyardish environment we're going to try to create over here. Okay, so now let's go into Unity and make a new project, create a new project, and we're going to call it level design for this tutorial's purpose, and we're going to create project. I'm going to save my previous project I was working on. And let's go ahead and start designing. Okay, so after you import these two assets from the Unity store, we can start our level designing. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a terrain first, because that's how we're going to start. And we're going to go to our scene tabs, because that's where we're going to design. And what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that this light button over here is toggled on, so that you can actually brightly see the whole terrain. So there are four steps to level designing. The first one is creating the very basic structure, in our case, building up the statues, the coffins, and the houses, and the fence. That is the basic structure of our level design. And the second one is going to be basically putting in detail objects, like, put in a bucket over there, or put in a rock, or put in a little bit of trees here and there to add in more detail. And the third part is going to be lighting, because lighting is very important. So basically putting in good lighting so to make the environment look really, really beautiful. And the fourth is particle systems, to basically add particle effects all around the place to get the atmosphere. So the first two are basically just to add the whole structure, and the last two, the lighting and the particle system, is used to add the whole environment feel in it. And I also would like to show you how, if the lighting and the particle system is not done very well, you will fail to capture the environment, which is very important for level designing. So first, we're going to go to this pack, LFG Assets Pack Light. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on it and go to textures, and you will see a couple of ground textures over here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your terrain component that you made. You're going to go to this paintbrush over here, and you're going to say edit textures and add textures. And what you're going to do is you're going to drag each of these in. So you're first going to drag this in, and then you're going to say add. And when you add the very first one, you're going to see that it automatically adds in a texture for you, as you can see over here. are supposed to do this for all these textures over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will add them to the terrain and come back in a minute. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your LFG asset packet light and you're gonna click on it and go to your prefabs. Now when you go to your prefabs, you're gonna see a lot more folders than I have now. That's because some of the folders are empty since this is a trial version. So what I did is I found out all the empty folders and deleted all the empty folders, and I would ask you to do the same so that it's easy for you to navigate. So after you deleted all the folders, we can start actually making our graveyard. So we're going to go ahead and look in through the assets and go to the symmetry one, and we're going to drag in a fence. Let's see over here, preview. And we're going to drag in this fence over here. I'm going to drag it in the thing, and what we're going to do is we're going, as you can see in our, I will be bringing up this picture quite often. We're going to start making a square first. So we're going to copy this and make its Command C. I'm not sure it's in Windows, maybe Control or whatever it is. I'm sorry, I don't use Windows. And then you're going to go over here to the top left and click on this 4 direction arrow button, and then you can actually move it. But what I would recommend you to do is, I would recommend you in Mac it is Command, and in Windows it is Control. So what you can do is, in my case, you can hold Command and you can move it so it's going to snap to the grid, as you can see over here. So to do this, it's Control in Windows and Command in Mac. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that, and then we're going to select both of them again. And then we're going to press Command C, Command V, and again press Command to snap to grid, and again extend them. Okay. And then we're going to choose 4 of them, Command C, Command V, and then we're going to snap to grid by holding Command. And then, yep, that's probably enough. Okay. And now what I would recommend you to do is, I would recommend you to make create an empty object and call it environment. And then I would like you to create another empty object saying structure. And what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that both of them are 0, 0, 0, and structure is 0, 0, 0, and you're going to drag structure into an environment so that structure is a child of environment. So it's basically organizing stuff, and you're going to choose all of these fences, and you're going to drag them into structure. So now the benefit of this is, if you want to now scale your whole environment, you can just simply change these 3 buttons and everything changes. Okay, so now since we're making a rectangle, we need to take in another fence. You're going to take in the same fence because we do need consistency, and then we're going to drag this over here. And we're going to change the Y to 90, so it basically rotates. And we're going to use Command, always use Command to snap to grid so that it aligns perfectly with that. And Command in Control, and if you're on Windows, I must say that again just to make sure. And as you can see, because we're using Command, it aligns really perfectly. And we're going to Command C, Command V, and then Command and move to snap it with the grid. And I'm going to copy these 2 again, Command C, Command V, and then snap to grid and move it. And same thing, maybe 2 more. And there we go. I guess that's enough. Actually, I might need to check if how big this actually is. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay. Never mind what I did there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy all these over here. Command C, Command V. And we're going to snap to grid and just drag them all over here. So it's basically really easy to start with, just because it's a rectangle, you can just copy everything in. Command C, Command V, and then use Command. Drag it over here. I'm going to check if it is aligned. And there you go. We have our basic symmetry right there. And now if you're going to go back to our plan, we're going to see that we need an exit and entry. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're going to remove the one over here, maybe the middle one. And we're going to see if we can add anything as a gate. Yes, we can. We're just going to throw this in, add 90 to the thing, to the y-axis in the rotation. And always use command again. I didn't use command there to snap to grid. So this gate we're going to use over here to, yep, and another gate. We're just going to, whoops. We're going to command C, command V. And we're going to snap to grid and drag it over here and change 90 to, was going to be 270. And always use snap to grid, and there we go. As you can see, you see what I did there. So I grabbed one of these, and yeah, there we go. And we're going to do the same. We're going to copy this gate over here. If I'm able to select it, no. There we go. I just selected it through the hierarchy, command C, command V. And then I'm going to snap to grid and drag it all the way to the other side. And make sure to remove the fence over here so we can actually add the gate. So we're going to delete it. Then we're going to select the two gate parts. By the way, if you want to multiple select, you have to press Shift, and then use snap to grid to drag them there. And now we have our first basic structure there. We still need to add our dungeon entries. So we could choose one of these tomes actually. 1 second. So we're going to go to a prefabs and symmetry, and then we're going to drag one of these tombs. They look really tall. I didn't like tomb A, but I did like tomb B better. And what we're going to do is, again, I always forget to use snap to grid, so that's very important. I guess I would like to increase the scale a little bigger, actually. Yeah, I increased the scale to 222 over here because it just seemed better. I'm going to change the Y rotation to 90, is it? Or actually not 90, but 270, so that not even 270. Where is the entry? Well, that is weird. Well, let's check if this one has an entry in it. Okay, so we're not even using tomb C. We're gonna use tomb C because that actually has an entry. So we're gonna change the scale to 222, and it's larger and way too large, and that's way too large as well. I guess 111 is fine actually. And we're going to rotate this to 270, no actually 90, so that the entrance is facing outward. And we're going to use snap to grid and take it to our side because that is what is in our plan. Over here, we have one over here, one over here, and one over here. We're going to command C, command V, and take it all the way to the other side. And then rotate it to 270 on the y-axis. Oops. Always use snap to grid. These two don't need to be aligned. It's fine because it's just it doesn't really matter if they're aligned or not. Command C, command V, and snap to grid and drag it over. There is it. Yep. Just looking at the plan again, it's very important to follow the plan. Well, we can always change the plan, but I like to follow it because I feel a little bit more better when I follow the plan. So now we have the basic structure, some of it done, and now we need now we need to add in some coffins and statues in the middle. So let's start by adding some statues. So we're gonna go here, drag in these two statues. They look pretty tall. I would like to actually, no, that's too big. Yeah, I'm changing their size to 1.5 each, because, and one of them is way taller than the other. I don't know why. Okay, I like the taller, the shorter statue, so I'm going to use statue B, both statue B. We're going to change this as well. So we're going to use the same statues. I usually don't like using the same statues, but I can't help it now. And we're just going to drag it somewhere in the middle. It has to intersect, it has to be in the middle of the road that we're going to make. That looks fine, actually. I'm just going to copy to make their y-axis the same, because I like symmetry. So their z position to be the same. I just copied one of them, and there we go, adding the statues. And now we're gonna add some coffins, and that's the last part of our basic structure, I believe. Yep. And this is a really small level design, as you can see over here, but this is so that I quickly teach you how to make really good level designs. And where was our coffins? Okay. So they're between the over here and over here. And I might actually want to I'm going to select both of them and drag it a little bit. Whoops. Need to use snap to grid. And try to, yeah, that looks fine. Again, it does not have to be perfectly in the middle, but somewhere around there. Then we're going to go to symmetry and drag in some coffins. Yay. And this is going to be a little hard to do because yeah, okay, that seems fine. And then I'm going to Command C, Command V, and drag. We're using snap to grid. Gonna have maybe 4 or 5. And then I'm gonna select all of them using Shift, Command C, Command V, and snap to grid. Using snap to grid, I'm gonna get them down. And same thing over there. And also, to add some randomity, you can select each one of them and go to the top left and click this round arrow buttons, and then just change them a little bit like that to add in some some natural human error, let's say, I like to say, so that it looks natural. Because if they're all aligned very perfectly, it looks very computerized and not very natural, if you know what I mean. So see, now as you can see, it already looks very, very natural. I'm just gonna, and that's fine. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy all of them, Command C, Command V, and drag them over here. And as you can see, we actually don't have enough space over here. I guess that's fine. Actually, we're gonna delete all of these and we're gonna make a change in the plan. We're gonna, or we don't need to make a change. What we can do is we can just add in a couple of more coffins. We're just gonna take in the first layer. Make sure you have not selected it. Yeah, see, there you go. If you, oops. Okay, this is a little annoying. Sorry about that. Make sure you have not selected the terrain, because it's very usual that you select the terrain by mistake, and you're going to do Command C, Command V. And using snap to grid move, you're going to move it over here. Going to move it over the top of the symmetry over here. And we're just gonna put in one row. That's it, because we actually don't have so much space. So that is our basic structure. And yes, we do need to make roads, actually. Roads. Before we do that, we're actually gonna take all the coffins and drag it into our structure, and take in all our tombs and drag it into our structure as well. And so now, as you can see, it's our hierarchy is very, very neat and very easy to manage. You just go to environment and structures, and you see all the structures. And then what you can do is you can go over here and you can create a new folder saying environment. And you can always store a prefab of these over here. So the reason I do this is because I'm really scared to delete this by mistake, because the only thing you need to do is just these 2 clicks and it's gone. So I'm actually a little paranoid about this, and that's why I always put a prefab in case something happens, or I even drag it out or something and it gets deleted. So it's always good to have that. So now we're going to try to make a road. We're going to go on the terrain, and you're going to try to choose a texture, and I can't actually see them because they're so light. I probably would like this one. Just choose any of the ones you like. It's preference. And I'm going to lower the brush size because it's so small. That's still small. Yeah, that's good. And this is very weird. 1 second. Oh, it's okay. Never mind. It's actually drawing stuff, but not opacity. Okay, so increase the opacity to maybe 25, and choose a texture that you actually, yeah, I like this one. I don't know, what is this? Oops. This is ground 01 that I liked personally. And you can basically draw them through the statues. That was our plan over there. Nice and easy and dark. It's just like painting. I'm not very good at painting, but it's not that hard. And then you're gonna, yep. Then, so the plan, that's how the plan was. A road to 1 of the dungeon entries and 2 rows to 2 of the dungeon entries. There we go. Just very easily, yep. And same thing over here. So they don't have to be perfect roads. It's just something so that the player can go through, if you know what I mean. And I don't like this actually, because it's taking up too much of it. Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. And I like that better. Yep. That looks great in my opinion. So now we actually have the very basic structure of our environment, our graveyard setup, and now the next part is going to be about adding in those details like trees and another bucket over there, or a broken coffin, or all the decals, etc. So if you go to prefab, you're going to see all this, not decals but plans and stuff. One more thing we need to add is we got the decals to make it look cooler. Can add these meshes over here. We're gonna rotate them and fit them inside, so they look like we're entering a level right there. So as you can see, that looks pretty cool. And you can do the same thing for, I'm pretty sure that's a particle, is it? Yeah, it's a particle effect. Yeah. So particle effects are basically, this is something we should be doing in the very end, to be honest, but I already started some of it already. But I'll just do it anyways. There we go. And one more over there. I should have been using snap to grid, but I didn't. I always forget to use that, even though it's very important. And there we go. We added some particle effects before we should have, but oh well. We're gonna save the scene to graveyard. And this is a very basic structure. It looks horrible right now, but we're going to make it look better and better as we go on. And in our environment prefab, we're going to add a new empty called particles. We're going to drag it in. We're going to drag in all our particles in the particle empty and press apply. So now it's more structured. Okay, so that is it for today. We have made our basic structure. In the next tutorial, we're gonna add in those little details to make it look much prettier. So I'll give you an example in my city over here. As you can see, the basic structures are the buildings over here, and the small details are these cargo boxes, or these little benches over here, or these food bins over here, and etc. So these are the little details that actually add to the game a lot. So that is what we're going to be working on next tutorial. So if you liked this tutorial, please subscribe, like, and share. It really helps me a lot. Also, I'm creating a game of my own. You can check the link to our website in the description below, and to our Facebook page. So thank you very much, guys. I hope to see you next time, and I really hope I helped you. So have a good day.